That's where it's leaking. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in once again. We're working on an EP3 Civic SI, and just to jump right into it, I already took off some things. There's 12mm bolts that hold the manifold in. If you look here, there's one down below. Well, that's two. And there's three. And there's four at the bottom. 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 bolts. So remove those 12mm. And then you're going to need to remove this vacuum hose, which is right here. And then another vacuum hose, which goes right there. And then four 12mm bolts, which is going to remove the throttle body. And then you can disconnect your connectors if you want to, so you can swing this away a little bit. There's not much room, but we're going to be replacing this coolant tube, which I'll give you a better look once I take off this manifold. Alright, so now that we have the manifold off, you got to finagle it out. You can either take off the T-support, the radiator T-support, or you can finagle it out. It shouldn't be too hard, but it is going to be a little bit of a bitch. So, with that said, here we are, and we're looking at the problem child here. Oh, I just noticed that. You see that hairline crack? So that's obviously going to cause some issues. But you can see that the water tube or the water pipe to the thermostat is rusted, therefore causing the plastic to expand and then cracking the plastic, and then also compromising the O-ring, because there is an O-ring inside this pipe, inside this plastic thermostat housing. So what you have to do is remove this piping. Let me back up a few, get more view so you can see it goes from there. And you got a rubber tube that connects there to the top of the head, and then it comes around, and you got a small nipple there, as you can see, and then it goes to the heater core hose right there. Sorry about the camera positioning, but essentially it just goes to the heater core hose right back here. One goes to the head and one goes to that tubing. So there's heater core hose, you have a small hose there, you have a hose here, and then you have a small hose that goes to your throttle body as well. So you're going to want to remove all of those after draining the coolant, of course. Make sure you drain your coolant first. I didn't show that on video because that's self-explanatory and nobody wants to see fluid draining. So with that said, let me go ahead and get this all taken out. I already took out the 10mm bolts on this thermostat housing. It's hard to get to, but you should be able to get to it. So there's a 10 here, there's a 10 back here, almost like a triangle, so to speak. So you have a 10 here, a 10 below on the underside down here, and then a 10 right behind over here. Let's go ahead and remove the lower radiator hose clamp, and then we can take out all of this and then get it replaced. I'm using a water pipe off of a K20 A3, which is a base model RSX, which is basically the sister or brother car of the EP3 SI. Besides the manifold being plastic, they're practically the same. So let me go ahead and grab that, and then we'll take this out, and then we'll put the new one in. We got the old with the new. So this is where it's been compromised. Bunch of rust causing the housing to swell. And then there's a hairline crack there. It's hard to see, but there is a hairline crack there. And it was pretty much leaking right out of here with all the rust. So I undercoated the new one, and then I put silicone inside the valley where all the water sits and rusts it. So you can see that red stuff. I filled that up with silicone. That way it's sealed, and then it's got rubber undercoating so it could last a little bit longer. And then we'll put this in and we'll be good to go. Alright guys, we're on our way to put the new one in. You can see it's right there. I got it mounted up. I have the throttle body out the way with the bottom sensors disconnected. We're about to put this in, but I wanted to show you the mounting points of the housing. That's it. And so now you know where the bolts are. Just FYI for you guys, this is the thermostat bolts, or the thermostat housing bolts. You want to make sure they don't look like that, and they look like that. So just get a wire brush and clean them up if yours look like that. Again, I had a spare motor, so I was lucky enough to replace it. These were on the motor with 132K. I think this motor has around like 180 or 160 or something of that sorts. But I was lucky enough to have a motor with a lot of components replaced, alternator, compressor. The starter was replaced, and the water tube was easy to take out. I took off the 12 millimeter and the 10, and then the 10 millimeter bolts on that one, and I was able to remove this. It's slightly different, but it is compatible with the EP3. There's just a nipple. This nipple here specifically, that's going to be slightly different, but you should be able to either cut this hose or finagle it, you know, turn it. You should be able to get that into the throttle body. As you can see there, it's going to go into that nipple right there, that chrome nipple on that boot. Alright, we got everything plugged up over here. Make sure to plug in your sensors underneath the throttle body. If you disconnected that sensor, which I did not, but if you did, make sure you reconnect it. It's going to be hard to get to. And yeah, once everything is put back together, this is all set, and then there's one on the side, so we'll do that. And then I'll put the manifold on. Just make sure you have your manifold gasket on the right way, and put it all back together and fill up the fluids. Make sure you put the heat on. It's on heat, doesn't matter which one. Just put it on high, let it circulate, do the recirculation, and then wait until it gets halfway, and then the fans kick on. That way you know that the system is working properly and there is no overheating issues because of all the coolant hoses you took out. Letting it bleed now. Double check for leaks. Everything's put back together. No more leaks down there. You can't see it, but I can. But yep, no more leaks, no more issues. So yeah, let this thing idle for about 15 minutes. Get all the bubbles out, and that's it. If you guys found this video helpful, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to connect any vacuum hose, you know, throttle body. Make sure everything's all connected, all the bolts are tight, and you are good to go. It's really not that hard. If you have tools and you're mechanically inclined or handy, then you should be able to do this and save yourself a lot of money.